With the rise in silicon carbon battery technology, could we finally be at the point where the battery life, endurance, and experience on foldable flagship phones far exceed or even match what we see on traditional smartphones? Or let's find out with this extreme battery drain test between the Honor Magic V5, the Oppo Find M5, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi usage and option. Let's get into it. No time wasting, let's kick things off with this extreme battery drain test between the Honor Magic V5, the Oppo Find M5, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, we will go through the exact parameters of how we set up these devices for this extreme battery drain test, but for now, all you need to know is that we are doing this on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi option. And with our extreme battery drain test, we do shoot it as one continuous video with no stops and no skips, and we only speed up in the most important areas so you don't have to sit around for hours like I had to. So if you appreciate our methodology, the thoroughness, the accuracy of our extreme battery drain test, then be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on the Lover of Tech channel, especially when it comes to our extreme battery drain test. Road to 100,000 subscribers is still on the table for 2025, and with your help, engagement, and support, we can definitely make it happen. Right, let's get into it. We've got 9 tasks, 9 applications, 1 hour each, and we're going to be kicking things off with the main rear camera recording continuously straight in 4K 60 FPS. Now, when we are testing foldables, we do 30 minutes on the outer display and 30 minutes on the inner display to just give that split experience of what it is like when you are using a foldable. So yeah, when we're using a camera like this, you're probably going to be wondering who's going to be recording 4K video continuously for an hour plus. Well, go watch my day in the life video of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, where I used the iPhone to record an hour talk in a call for more than an hour, and it really pulled through. So in a modern day where people are going to be using their phones to start podcasts, this is definitely a viable way to use it when it comes to 4K recording and video recording. After an hour, we do have 83% battery, 42.5 degrees Celsius, minus 17% battery loss on an Oppo, 84% battery, 42.6 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss on the Honor, and then 80% battery, 41.9 degrees Celsius, minus 28% battery loss. Now you can see all of them have the same chipset, but they do behave different in terms of the power output and performance, which you'll see at the end with the rough Geekbench 6 scores. And you can see the battery capacity. The Oppo's got 5,600 milliamps, the Honor's got 5,820 milliamps, and then the Samsung 4,400 milliamps when it comes to what we're working with. So yeah, let's see how the difference really translates to when it comes to the capacity and the performance of the battery. Next is X Spaces or Twitter Spaces. Are you new school or old school? Are you X or Twitter? Let me know in the comment section below. Here is pretty much like a chat room service where we all jump in, talk about the topics that we want to, which in my case is going to be tech, with my audience and my followers and my fellow content creator friends and buddies. So this is where we get through to see how it performs still strictly on mobile cellular data, no Wi-Fi being used at all. After an hour, 74% battery, 32.7 degrees Celsius, minus 9% battery loss on the Oppo, 74% battery, 35.4 degrees Celsius, minus 10% battery loss on the Honor, and then 70% battery, 32.9 degrees Celsius, minus 10% battery loss on the Samsung. So this is definitely an interesting turnout, kind of closer than I expected across the board, and definitely neck and neck when it comes to the Oppo and the Honor. Next is TikTok, and like I said, TikTok is like the wicked Wild West when it comes to consuming content and posting on there. And boy, oh boy, there's always something happening when it comes to the state of TikTok. Like how it is in the USA, do we know what's still going to be happening? People, let me know in the comment section below if you use TikTok in the US as a content creator or as a viewer. What's going to be happening to it? We don't know. And after an hour of TikTok, we are working with 60% battery, 30.9 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Oppo. And we've got 61% battery, 34.4 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the Honor. And then 52% battery, 32.1 degrees Celsius, minus 18% battery loss on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. This is where the Samsung is really starting to fall back, and you're seeing the difference in capacity and performance and efficiency. Next is Instagram Reels, and like I always say, man, Instagram has secretly become one of my favorite social media applications when it comes to Reels and sending memes to people. When it comes to my friends and family, I may not speak to them on a regular basis, but I kind of know their state of mind and what they're getting up to because of how we communicate on Instagram. And of course, it is my favorite place for showing behind the scenes of what is happening on Lover of Tech when it comes to product launches, content, and also travel. So definitely want to see more of us, follow loveroftech_BA. After an hour of Instagram Reels, 49% battery, 32.6 degrees Celsius, minus 11% battery loss on the Oppo, 50% battery, 35.8 degrees Celsius, minus 11% battery loss on the Honor, 34% battery, 32.7 degrees Celsius, minus 18% battery loss on the Z Fold 7. So yeah, this is a crazy difference now that we're seeing compared to what Samsung have and what's on the Honor and the Oppo. Next is an hour of YouTube, and this is on mobile cellular data only, established again, 1440p 60 fps. This is one of our definitive camera comparisons, and like I said, half an hour on the outer display and then half an hour on the inner display, and we're really seeing how this is going to actually affect the battery life and the performance. It uses a lot of data when it comes to YouTube in this particular test, so it's a very interesting outlook as well when it comes to data usage and battery. After an hour, we are working with 33% battery, 32.8 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss on the Oppo, 36% battery, 36.2 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Honor, and then 16% battery, 33.2 degrees Celsius, minus 18% loss on the Z Fold 7. Ouch. Samsung is basically in the red, and you can see it. It's in the red. As we start YouTube Music, one of my favorite rap projects and albums of all time, Kanye West is College Dropout, and man, the track this night when I was doing this extreme battery drain test was definitely featuring Ludacris, Breathe In, Breathe Out. And sometimes, man, I just need to take a breath, because back to back battery drain tests and the content that we're doing for these embargoes, crazy. But who's going to pack in first? Of course it's going to be Samsung, and it decides to pack in at the 5-hour mark, 56 minutes and 49 seconds, a final temperature reading of 32.5 degrees Celsius. In third place is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, of course, the app order for this extreme battery drain test has changed, and I stated this because Instagram have changed their terms of usage when it comes to live streams. If you don't have more than 1,000 followers, you can't go live. So I've had to can that part when it comes to Instagram live streams and put in a different application. Now, hour mark, 19% battery, 32.0 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Oppo, and then 22% battery, 35.5 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Honor. So yeah, no more Instagram live streams on our extreme battery drain test. We've replaced it with Subway Surfers. So it's two gaming sections now, Subway Surfers, then Asphalt Legends, Asphalt 9, Asphalt Unite, whatever the name of that application is. Now we're going through this section when it comes to Subway Surfers for gaming, and boy oh boy, I knew I was in for a long one, because the battery capacity and the efficiency and what they're packing, yeah, this is where silicon carbon wins when it comes to density, capacity, and then the efficiency that comes with the chipset and the new Android versions. Crazy. It gets to the 7-hour mark, 8% battery, 32.6 degrees Celsius, minus 11% battery loss on Oppo, and then 9% battery, 37.5 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the Honor Magic V5. Boy, I'll tell you this now, the Honor and the Oppo are near enough neck to neck when it comes to battery performance and endurance, and it's really going to be in the margins of minutes, and that always comes down to just odd errors and different scenes and odd little changes and things I can't fully control. In this situation, honestly, they really went down to the wire, both on the same percentage all the way through. And yeah, it does look like the Oppo does pack in first at 7 hours, 26 minutes and 45 seconds. Final temperature reading of 42.4 degrees Celsius. In second place is the Oppo Find M5. But honestly, there really wasn't much in it, but we still got to give the dub to the Honor Magic V5, which in the end does pack in at the 7-hour mark, 31 minutes. And with 0% left, 40 seconds, a final temperature reading of 43.8 degrees Celsius. In first place is the Honor Magic V5. So in third place is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 with a finishing time of 5 hours, 56 minutes and 49 seconds. Now, of course, the app order for Extreme Battery Drain Test for 2025 has changed again. We are no longer doing Instagram live streaming. That has been replaced with gaming with Subway Surfers. And considering the first Extreme Battery Drain Test that we did on the Fold 7 did about 5 hours and 36 minutes, 5 hours and 56 minutes is par for the course. So it's really within the margins of what we expect for the battery performance and endurance on the Fold 7. So yeah, in this case, We would love to see Samsung improve the battery capacity in the next generation to really see a big leap, but for now, it's in third place, finishing time 5 hours, 56 minutes and 49 seconds. So in second place is the Oppo Find N5 with a finishing time of 7 hours, 26 minutes and 45 seconds. Boy, let me tell you, this was neck and neck with the Honor Magic V5. There was really not much difference in there, but yeah, it did come in second place. What it really showcases is the power of silicon carbon, 5600 mAh battery in a form factor like this, and the efficiency gains that comes with the 8 Elite and the Android software for these foldables. Boy, we just want more of this type of battery innovation when it comes to endurance, capacity, and form factor, and Oppo have showcased it really well here. Second place goes to the Find N5, finishing time 7 hours, 26 minutes and 45 seconds. And in first place is the Honor Magic V5 with a finishing time of 7 hours, 31 minutes and 40 seconds. And let me tell you, Honor don't miss when it comes to battery performance and endurance, and they've showcased it again. One of the first companies to really be pushing silicon carbon, and they're showing that this is the pinnacle of it when it comes to this type of capacity in a foldable. Boy, this is so impressive. I really like what they've done here, and it really has translated. The difference compared to the Fold 7 is monumental and not an understatement at all. And we really love this type of battery innovation in this form factor. So yeah, more of it, Honor. In this case, you're first. Finishing time 7 hours, 31 minutes and 40 seconds. Now we've reached the end of this extreme battery drain test. What were the exact parameters that we used to set these devices up? Now, as stated, we are doing this on mobile cellular data only with no Wi-Fi option. This is using Vodafone UK's 4G prepaid network, and we did top this up with the £15 big value bundle, which does give you 20 gigabytes of usable data for the month. Next is the display brightness calibration. Now, any form of adaptive or automatic brightness settings have been disabled, and with a clear white background, I have tried to calibrate these displays as close to 200 nits as possible to make it consistent with all our other indoor controlled extreme battery drain tests. Now for the settings of the devices, starting with the Oppo Find N5. Now, of course, when it comes to the display calibration and settings, we have disabled automatic brightness. The screen timeout has been increased to its maximum, which is 30 minutes. And of course, the refresh rate is on auto select, which does do it adaptive at 120 FPS. Now, when we're getting through into the battery settings, what we have done is left it in the normal balance performance mode. Now, of course, there's different balance performance profiles that we've got on there in terms of high performance and ultra power saving, but we've left it a balance, which is the default. Now, of course, everything else in relation to the battery when it comes to smart rapid charging and stuff has been enabled, but we're not focusing on charging for these devices. It's really just down to the fact that battery health wise, it is pretty much 100%, which is a given because it is fairly new and out of the box when it comes to the Oppo Find N5. We've disabled the battery video saver settings and pretty much getting the most consistent experience all the way through when it comes to the power saving features being disabled to make sure that we get a consistent output all the way through. Now, when it comes to the software, we are running the latest version of ColorOS at the time of this test and recording. So everything we've got here is pretty much set and ready to go. And yeah, this is the Oppo Find N5 with a 5600 mAh battery. It is packing and it's Snapdragon 8 Elite powered as well. So yeah, specs wise, this is the full beans. Next is the Honor Magic V5, and of course, same process. Adaptive brightness has been disabled. The screen sleep time and timeout has been increased to its maximum, which is 10 minutes. And of course, the refresh rate is dynamic at 120 FPS. And with the Honor Magic V5, there is also different performance profiles that we are working with when it comes to the battery. And we are going to be leaving this in its default balanced mode, which is exactly what we want for the most consistent experience when it comes to the battery. Of course, when we have different opportunities to do this multiple times, I do try and switch the performance profiles to different ones like the high performance or the performance mode, but for now we're just leaving it in its default settings and disabling all power saving features to make sure that we get a consistent run all the way through when it comes to the battery life experience. And of course, with the battery health, it is at 100%. This is the latest device, new out of the box. So yeah, it's pretty much only got one charge cycle. So it's going to be perfectly good enough to make sure that we are using it for this extreme battery drain test. Software wise, it is running the latest version of Magic OS at the time of this recording, so best that we can do in terms of performance. And yeah, this is the Honor Magic V5, 5820 milliamp hour battery powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite. It is a mammoth when it comes to the specifications. Last is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Same routine, adaptive brightness has been disabled, screen timeout has been increased, adaptive 120Hz is on, screen is on vivid. Now, of course, this is the second extreme battery drain test that we're doing on the Fold 7, but the app order is different, so we are going to keep the performance profile pretty much the same. Power saving features have all been disabled to make sure we get the most consistent run all the way through. And of course, when you look at the battery information, you can pretty much see that the battery health is 100%. Again, this is still a fairly new device. The Fold 7 has not been out for that long for us to be worrying about the battery health and the capacity. There's only about 12 charge cycles that's been put in there. So yeah, very, very efficient when it comes to being able to use it for this extreme battery drain test. Now, of course, when we go into the device care section, that's where we can pick the performance profile. And we are keeping this in the standard performance profile. We're not using it in the light. Maybe another time when we're doing it in the same app order and we get an opportunity, maybe when the Pixel 10 Pro Fold comes out, we put this in light performance mode and then pretty much test it from there and really see how they all fare together. But in this particular situation, we are going to keep the performance profile on standard. And software wise, we did get an update to this to August. So as the test was running, we did do a software update. So we are on the latest software update on the Fold 7 as well to make sure that everything is as fair as possible. And this is a quick reference of the Geekbench 6 cores across the board. Now, of course, all of them are Snapdragon 8 Elite powered. And before doing this benchmark, I did make sure that the Honor Magic V5 as well as the Oppo Find M5 were in their high performance mode enabled within the battery settings. And you can clearly see where the 4 Galaxy version of the Snapdragon 8 Elite really does shine in the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. It benches a lot higher, especially when it comes to the multi-core performance compared to what we've seen on the M5, and much closer with the Honor Magic V5. But yeah, these are the reference scores for the Geekbench 6. Now that is it with this extreme battery drain test between the Honor Magic V5, the Oppo Find M5, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Were you surprised by these results, or is this exactly what you were expecting? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Well, that's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.